Hey everyone, good morning. We're going to start our training for the day. Just going to give time for some people to join us. Alejandro, I'm not sure if you wanted to be in for the training. It's about some of the stuff you might already be doing, but maybe not. We just invite a couple people to join us. Huh? Oh, yeah, I already made it. I'm going to go. It's in Joelle's office. You can grab it for me, please. Thank you. Hey, Lauren. Hey, Pam. Pam, I got some good news for you. I'll call you in a little bit. I'm sure you'll be very, very happy to make your weekend. How's that investment going for you? Is that house under contract yet? Thanks, Will. Appreciate that.
What did you put the?
What's that? You need one? I got mine. I got this. I got this one. You need some?
That's for you, huh?
That's for me? Yeah, grab something. I think I paid. Here. I got you, bro. Vonda, thank you for the nice cup holder. Do what you love. Love what you do.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's the best.
It's one of our new agents who got this for me. Thank you so much. And see, I'm using it. That's proof. All right, cool. All right, so today we're going to talk about systems. We're going to talk about how to leverage the data that is out there and that we have here at Culture Estate. If you're not a member of our organization, these are some good platforms for you guys to get your hands on. Talk to your broker about getting them on for the office. This is stuff that you guys would really benefit from. So we're going to start today. We're going to talk about some of the more basic things, and then we're going to work our way into some of the more complex things you can do with them. One of the systems that I used, I think I've been using a little bit longer now, is a system called LandVoice. For some people who have never heard of this before, LandVoice is a company that provides you with data for properties that have either expired, as you can see on our screen, or people that are on a for sale by owner, or if you want to do a neighborhood search for people that live in a certain part of town or in a certain town in general. But you can also do a lot of other things with LandVoice. LandVoice will also give you back phone numbers for properties that you may want. So if let's say you found that you do really well in a certain part of town, you may want to download a list of all those houses in that town, send that list to LandVoice, and they'll send that information back to you with some phone numbers. So that's a really nice feature that they have. I haven't used that system in a while because I found that there's other systems that do it a little bit better than that, but there are some really good things on LandVoice. So one great thing about LandVoice here in the office is that it's a never-ending source of leads for my agents. You guys can call every single expired every day. And the way LandVoice works is that you have to subscribe to their service by MLS. So every MLS that you belong to, you have to get a separate account for LandVoice. So if you belong to the Garden State MLS, that's one account that you have to have with them. If you belong to Middlesex County MLS, then that's a separate account that you have to pay for, all within the same login and password. So hopefully I'm not confusing you guys, and I'll show you what I mean. But you'll have to subscribe differently. So here in the office, we subscribe to every single MLS, everywhere from Ocean and Monmouth up to Hudson County. So if you want to start doing business in any one of those counties, this is a great way to start doing that. You know, listings are the name of the game. So if you don't have any right now, every day you have an opportunity to call hundreds of people that you didn't talk to previously. Now, the more calls you make, the better you're going to get. Even if you're terrible and you're a brand new agent, you're going to make calls. People are hang up on you. People are going to tell you that you sound very unprofessional, rude, whatever the case may be. But you're going to learn and you're going to get better. And in a month's time, you're going to get really good at talking to people and really good at booking appointments. So that's a conversation for another day. I'm going to talk to you guys more about how to use LandVoice today. So first thing I'll show you is the expired leads feature on LandVoice. Okay. Once you go into expired leads, you're going to see that you have all this data here on the right that comes up, which is really cool. Some of this data here will come with phone number. Well, mostly all of them will come with phone numbers, as you can see here. This record here has a lot of phone numbers. You're going to see some of them may even come with email addresses, which is cool. You know, not every day you get to get email addresses with along with phone numbers. So this is a good thing. So if you have a system that you can put them on a drip campaign, maybe you want to use one of these and put this information in, and there's ways of doing that automatically. So what we do with this data, what I did in the beginning was I used to just call them one by one. And it used to take me forever. In an hour's time, I'd maybe speak to 10 people. And I found that was really inefficient. So what I started doing after that is I started to just find a better way of communicating with them by utilizing a dialer. Now, if you've never utilized a dialer before, stay tuned to one of our future trainings where we'll teach you guys how to use the dialer we use here in the office, Mojo Sells. But today I'm going to show you what you guys have to do with this system in order for you guys to get the data and be able to use it. Now, if you're very old-fashioned and you want to go one by one, that's fine. It's going to take you a long time. But all you would have to do here is just go to download this information as a CSV file. And once you have this as a CSV file, you'll be able to then gather the information and put it into your dialer system. Okay, so this is very simple. Now, the cool thing about it is that you can make it you can expand it. So for instance, if you wanted to do expired leads, not just from today, you want to do expired leads that are like older, you can actually, you can do that by using the criteria filters here, where you'll be able to see, okay, well, this is, I want to start from start from maybe a month ago. Let's say I want to start from August, and I want every expired till today. Right? You can do that. If you wanted to do all the MLSs, which we have here, as you can see, you can do that. Or if you just wanted to maybe hone in on just maybe Garden State or Central Jersey or whatever the case may be, you can put it here. You can also break it down by bedrooms and baths. Oh, sorry guys. You can also do it by bedrooms and baths. You can do it by price if you only want to hit a luxury market, or if you want to hit maybe for investors under a certain amount of certain price range. You can do that here. What you want to do under status is you want to make sure that you're not leaving any of these check marks that are not important to you. So for instance, I don't want any active listings, so I'm taking active out. Right? I don't want any pending statuses. I want that out. I don't want any solds. I'm not calling someone who just sold their house. I want expireds. I want withdrawals. I want canceled. I want off market. I want released. And I don't want rented. Okay, so these are the ones I want. Now, in your market, they may not use the term released, or they may not use it the term canceled. You know, mostly in our market, we see expired and withdrawn. But this LandVoice system is nationwide, so you know, they may interchangeably use these terms. So just leave the ones that make sense to you on, right? So then you just go ahead and you search it, and now it's going to further narrow down the properties that you're going to want. So it's only going to give me the last 30 days. All right, so now once you got this information, you're good to go. You can start making these calls. Now, keep in mind, when you're making these calls, these are expired leads. So I always like to make this reference when I say you're calling expired leads. So imagine there's a girl who just broke up with her boyfriend, right? And every guy found out that this girl just broke up with her boyfriend, and every guy goes up to the girl and says, "Hey, you want to go on a date? Want to go on a date? Want to go on a date?" It's pretty annoying, right? But some girls would be like, "Yeah, let's go on a date." Maybe one out of like 100 or something. Same thing goes for expired listings. When you're approaching these expired listings, everybody's calling them, and everybody wants their house. So obviously, you're going to have some people who are going to be like, "Yes, please, anybody but the last realtor," or some people are just going to be easygoing, and they're going to say, "You know what? Yeah, come over, give me a listing presentation." But there's going to be a lot of people who are going to say, "Hey, don't call me ever again. I'm not interested in selling. Please lose my number." So that's what they may say in the very beginning. But there was a reason why they were selling their home. There must be something that is causing them to want to sell it. So imagine you don't approach them on the first date, but maybe sometimes what you do is you call some of the older expireds. Maybe call expireds that have been expired for 30 days, 60 days, maybe last year, and you talk to them about, "Hey, have you ever considered selling your home?" They may say, "You know what? Yeah, I'm glad you called." And now they're not getting a phone call every hour by a realtor saying, "Hey, you want to sell? You want to sell? You want to sell?" You're getting a phone call almost never, and the person is asking, "Hey, would you consider selling your home?" Maybe now everything, the dust is settled. They've gathered their thoughts. They might be able to consider dipping their toe back in the water. You may have a better chance. So I found great success in not only calling expireds that are brand new, but calling expireds that are older. So you may want to go from like 30 days back and say, "Look, I want to call everybody from January till March and see if any of those properties have it." And you can do a way where you can show that the property hasn't been sold or the property is not active. So you can take those out, weed those out with the filters, and just give yourself a list of properties that might potentially sell. So this is a good way to manipulate the system. Okay, so that is the way you would work with these expireds. Okay, so expired listings are just one piece of the market you can work with. Now, I always tell people expireds are a great way for you to kind of like learn how to talk to people, because there's so many of them and it's so abundant that you may not want to spend money right off the bat getting custom lists if you don't know how to talk to people. Just download a bunch of expireds and call them and practice on them. All right, because they're gonna obviously regenerate every day. You're gonna get new ones every day. So if you screw it up today, no big deal. They may not remember you in 30 days. When you get better, call them again in 30 days. But once you start spending your own money on custom lists, make sure you got your dialogue down pat. So don't practice on the leads you're paying for. Practice on the stuff that's free. Okay? Kind of like when the rule of getting a motorcycle, like don't get a nice motorcycle in the beginning because you're going to crash it. You're going to drop it. So same thing goes with prospecting with expireds. Now, next thing that you're going to see here are going to be for sale by owner leads. Now, some people get their for sale by owners on Zillow, or they might get them on forsalebyowner.com. I'm not sure how they get them, and I think now those systems are masking the phone numbers of the actual sellers, so you may not be able to get as much data from there anymore these days. But the beauty of LandVoice is that they will procure all the numbers and all the addresses for you wherever you want. So same thing goes here. Like if you wanted to custom search them, you can custom search them. You can use postal codes. You can do whatever you want. You can dig within like a certain time frame. And I believe they only go back out for sale by owners. I think they only go back like 6 months, because I don't think for sale by owners stick around that long, from what they found. Now, for sale by owners are a special category. The reason why I'm saying that is because they're telling you, I want to sell. They have actually let the world know, hey, we have a house and we intend to sell it. So what you need to do is you need to be good at speaking to these people, because you don't want to blow a chance of getting a listing appointment with someone who says, yeah, I'd sell. So practice your dialogue on for sale by owners by doing a lot of role playing with your friends and your partners at the office. Do as much role play as you can with for sale by owners, because when it comes time to talking to for sale by owner, you want to nail that appointment, because they do have a house they want to sell. Okay, so these people are important. You're not going to see as many of these as you will expireds, but these are gold. And if you get good at it, you will land at least 50% of all the phone calls you make on these for sale by owners, because they have a solid interest in selling their home. Now, some people are just going for sale by owner because they just hate people and they don't want to build a relationship with another realtor, so they'll never tell you yes no matter what. But some people are going for sale by owner because they think they can get more by not using a realtor, because they don't have to pay the fee. And all the statistics point to, if you don't use a real estate agent, you end up selling for about 11 to 12. Even last year, there was a study done that says even higher than that. You know, and there's a lot of science that goes behind this stuff. It's not just like a random study. So if they even paid you 6%, they're still going to make way more money paying you than if they would try to sell by their own. So this is something you got to keep in mind when you're calling these people. So you're going to be able to do it everywhere, anywhere in Jersey you want by using the system, or you can pinpoint it down to the areas you want and price ranges you want. So this is really nice and a good way to get into the habit of doing it. Now, these are usually only going to have one phone number, which is okay, because you're usually getting cell phone numbers with these, because whenever they're getting this data, wherever they're getting this data from, people are advertising the best number for them to get in touch with. So since this number is being advertised, that's the number you're getting here. So once you get this phone number, all you have to do is either dial these people one by one, or you can dump them into Mojo, like we use here, and just use the single line dialer option on Mojo, which is still going to make it quicker for you because number one, you don't have to dial the numbers, which takes time, and you don't have to leave a voicemail because Mojo will leave it for you. But there's no need to do a triple line dialer when you have every single number you know is going to be the direct line. You guys get it? That's why you may see that feature on Mojo where, hey, why do I have to use a triple line dialer? I mean, why is there an option to use a single line dialer when I'm paying for a triple line? You know, so for cases like this.
So you suggest for sub owners, just do one?
For sub owners, I suggest you put them into the single line dialer and use Mojo for that. Okay? All right. So does anyone, and if you guys, hey, Jim, I'm glad your surgery went well. I'm trying to read some of these messages that we have here. If anybody has a question about anything I'm talking about, please definitely ask it, because there obviously are no stupid questions, and you know, we're always sharing the information we have here. So next thing I'll tell you is that LandVoice also provides you guys with scripts. I'm not sure how many people need scripts, you know, but what I always tell people is no script is the best script. And it's not 100% what you guys think it may be. I'm not saying don't learn a script. I'm just saying don't live by the script, because when you live by the script, you're gonna be very cold to people. You know, there's been instances where the agents have told me, you know, I blew it. I called this guy and he started telling me about the situation with his mother and why they started falling behind on the house. And I stuck to my script, and I was so cold to that person that he kind of changed his whole demeanor. He was opening up to me, and instead of me becoming human and having a conversation with them, I just stuck to my script, and I tried to nail the appointment, and the guy went totally cold on me after that. So I believe that scripts are good for opening up dialogues, opening up conversations, but after the conversations have been already started and the person starts to open up to you, forget your script. Just be human. There's going to be things and trigger words that you can use, and those are important. Don't get me wrong. Neurolinguistics is a really, really important thing for you guys to get down. But it's more important for you to understand that the person wants to hear from another human being, not a salesperson. Once you're ingrained in their head as a salesperson, as someone who's just trying to, you know, make money off of them, there's no chance you're getting their business. But if you can humanize yourself, put yourself in their position, and tell them what you want to hear in a situation like that, business is yours. People want to connect and do business with people who care. So that's what I'm explaining. But if you need scripts, these are great. Look, there's for sale by owner approach scripts here. There's for sale by owner fallacies, you know, misunderstandings for sale. You know, this is great. I'm going to actually cover all these scripts during our mastermind trainings. But if you're new to LandVoice and you don't know what to say to people when you call them, this is great. This is really good stuff. And I can guarantee you it wasn't some college kid, you know, that was paid $5 an hour to write the script. I'm sure it was put a lot of thought and effort, and a lot of research was put into these scripts. So what we're going to do is, I think that every Monday we're going to cover a different script on our mastermind, because this is awesome stuff. This is really good things, okay? So that's a good reference for you guys if you guys have never used LandVoice before. Now, the other thing I spoke to you guys about with LandVoice is that they will do a custom search for you. So if you want to get the phone number to all the foreclosures in your area, if you want to get the phone number to all the how would I say homes that are in a certain area that maybe just got, you know, hit hard by a flood or something, you can do that. You can just download the information and send it to LandVoice, and LandVoice will send you the information. But I have learned that LandVoice is not as good as the other systems we use. So I used to use LandVoice for a very long time. And LandVoice actually is twice the price of what I pay for the other system. So for me, it's a no-brainer. So I stopped using LandVoice many, many years ago. But if somebody's new to LandVoice and they want to get data like that, you guys can always reach out to them, and they will do a custom search for you. It takes about a day to get the data back, but it's good stuff. You know, I built my business when I first started as a prospecting agent with LandVoice, and I was able to get over 100 listings that year. So it was good data, but it was more important was that I was committed and I did it every day. You understand? But I got better data, and when I got better data, then the stuff even got easier. So all my agents now are using obviously the other systems that we use. Okay, so I think that's enough on LandVoice. What's up, Eric? Thank you for your comment, brother. That means a lot to me. Hopefully you're doing well. All right, so the other system that I want to talk to you guys about is NJ List Pendants. NJ List Pendants is a great resource, and you don't have to be a real estate agent to use this. NJ List Pendants is a place where you can get all the data for properties that are going to foreclosure. So if a property has a list pendants status on it, list pendants is a formal notice of there being a lawsuit against that property. In this case, it's a foreclosure lawsuit against that property. You will get this information by using the system. So I know there's people who would like to focus on certain areas. Obviously, some counties are much more, how would I say, competitive than others. The further out west you go, the further south you go, you may have more opportunities to get people to sign up with you there and get listings in that area, in those areas. But if you're looking like in Hudson County, Essex County, Bergen County, you really have to be consistent, and you really have to do great follow-up in order to get business there. Most recently, we just went on a listing appointment in Upper Saddle River, and this data was gathered from NJ List Pendants. So it doesn't mean you're only going to get stuff in the hood or you're going to get stuff in bad areas. There's people foreclosing everywhere. You understand what that was almost a $2 million house that we went to. And there's obviously going to be $20,000 homes that you're going to see. But you really just got to be consistent. It's amazing. What I feel sometimes is that it's amazing when by picking up the phone, how you don't know who's on the other end. And you're going to like meet amazing people. You're going to get amazing opportunities, but you'll do nothing and get nothing if you don't ever take the chance. If you're too scared to pick up the phone, you'll never meet people who can change your life. You'll never meet people who have these types of homes or opportunities for you to buy, you know, even sometimes. So if you're an investor, that's a great way to start getting investments. Instead of paying wholesalers, you know, tons of money, or instead of, you know, driving up prices at sheriff sales, you can get a one-on-one with a homeowner, or you can get a one-on-one with a bank, you know. So these are good ways for you guys to start getting into business. Okay, so once you're in NJ List Pendants, this site is not that expensive to use, and I didn't talk about LandVoice, so I'll go back real quick on LandVoice. I didn't talk about LandVoice, how much it costs to get LandVoice. I don't remember exactly how much we pay for LandVoice, I'll be honest with you, but I do believe that it's very inexpensive. But as you add on more features, you will have to pay for more. So I do believe that LandVoice itself is probably like around $50 a month, maybe a little bit more, just for the basic LandVoice with one MLS. But every time you add on a new MLS, you're going to have to pay a higher and higher fee. If you guys send in custom search, you're going to have to pay about 50 cents per record, excuse me, that they bring back to you. So it is a good resource, believe me, because what's the alternative? You know, maybe trying to go into your tax records, which is a very ineffective way of doing it. So money well spent. And plus, it'll keep you accountable. Once you start spending your own money on your systems, I feel you're going to be more committed to doing what you're supposed to be doing. Now, going into NJ List Pendants, this is the system that I was speaking to you guys about. Now, this one is actually very cost effective. I think it's like, I want to say it's like $30 a month, or something like that. It's very, very cheap. This one's not expensive at all. Because this data, I guess, is not the complete data you're going to need. This is not going to come to you with phone numbers. You're just going to get addresses. You're going to get people who are foreclosing on their home. So I'm going to start with a quick example here. I'll just pick Atlantic County, even though we don't do much business or any business in Atlantic County. but I will pick Atlantic County, and I will pick here the more common fields that we use and we fill out. So here I'm going to say, okay, I want Atlantic County, and I want all the foreclosures, I want all the properties that are going into foreclosure that have a list pending status as of January 1st, 2018, all the way till today. And today's the 29th. Okay. I can either break it down by city and zip code if I wanted to, or I could just leave it as is. And then I can go here and hit search. Once I've hit search, I see that I've pulled up 1,143 records, right? That's a pretty good amount of business. Now, I'll tell you one thing. I don't care if I'm getting a listing in Atlantic County or if I'm getting a listing a block away. If it's a listing, it's a listing. If it's $1 million house, if it's a $500,000 house, I will drive. I don't care. Or I will hire an agent in Atlantic County to help me out. You know, I will do something. But there is so much business in New Jersey that it blows your mind. You know, everyone doesn't have to be congested into Scotch Plains, into Union County. You know, there's 21 counties in New Jersey. You understand? And I don't think we would ever be able to encumber all the counties. So there's so much data everywhere. So 1,143 people are going into foreclosure in Atlantic County alone in the last 9 months. So with that being said, I don't think I'll ever run out of data. You know, I can work Atlantic County till Atlantic County is dry, and then I can move into Burlington County. I can work Burlington County till Burlington County is done. And then by the time I'm done with my 21st county, by the time I circle back to Atlantic County, there's a fresh 1,000 records there for me again. So there's always going to be data. So don't ever worry that, hey, I'm going to run out of data to call. There isn't. I mean, unless you have like a 100-person crew calling, you know, people for you, you're not going to run out. So there's data. There's good stuff. Now, what do you do with this? Because now that you have this information, what do you do? You know, like, okay, well, I have the address. Do you go crazy sending out postcards? Do you go crazy sending out letters to these handwritten to these people? No, I wouldn't do that because it's not a good way of using my time. Some people like to be very passive about it and, you know, send this information maybe into a system or a service that would send out postcards or do whatever that they do. Personally, I feel the most effective way of getting data and paying for it is by picking up the phone and talking to them directly. There is no better way. So doing that, you're going to see the biggest return on your money. Reason I say that is because a lot of agents get swindled into getting like Zillow accounts and paying for tons of advertising and magazines and those types of things. And they're going to see very, very bad results from that. I mean, granted, you're going to get some leads, but your cost per lead is very high. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with working with buyers. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with working with, you know, different marketing resources. But what I am saying is that if you do decide on becoming a successful investor or real estate agent, the best way to do it is picking up the phone and calling those people yourself. So what you do with this data is you basically would just go to the way we do it. I mean, I'm not sure if someone else out there does it a different way. Hey, Mark, what's up, brother? I'm sure you've used NJ List Pendants before. So what we do with NJ List Pendants is we just go in here and we go to print. Once we go to print, it's going to actually download a TXT file. So for those of you who don't know what a TXT file is, just a convoluted CSV file. It's just very, very weird layout. But what we do with that information is we convert this list into, a CSV file by uploading it into a spreadsheet, and then we take that information and we send it out to get to come back with phone numbers. You know, so I'll show you guys what that looks like right now. I'm going to create a new spreadsheet just to show you, give you guys a good example of how this is done. Label this example. Right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload this file. So I'm going to import the file that I just downloaded, the TXT file. Grab it, drop it. And I'm going to append this list, and I'm going to tell the system, this Google Sheet, I'm going to tell it to use a separation of this weird looking stick. It's not an I, it's actually the divider right on top of your /. I'm going to tell it to use this as a demarcation between data. And once I import that data, it's going to look like this. All right? I got my name, my address, my city. I'm going to make this a little bit more visible for you guys because I know it's hard to see. Okay. So I've got this. I'm just going to protect this row. Let's give you guys an example of what could be done here. Okay, I'm going to protect this row. I'm going to show, as you guys see, you have a column here with the name, with the address, with the city, with the state, and the zip code. Now, what you're going to do now is, if you're one of the agents from the office, I'm going to ask you guys to always put this data into a certain lineup. So first, you're going to have to go with city, and we click and drag. And there's a reason why. Next is zip. Morning, Alice.
Morning, Alice. I didn't know you guys were in here.
That's okay.
You
You were downstairs waiting for
Yes.
us?
Morning.
I actually get a much better signal down here with internet. Then we've got address and we've got name. Okay. Reason why we need it like this is because when we send it out for scraping and scrubbing and getting data, they request that we have it in this order. So if you're one of our agents here in the office, please make sure you give me the list in this order, and then we can send it out for data. So once we have this information back, you're going to get a nice list of phone numbers. If we send out 1,000, usually we get about 98%, 99% of the numbers. Some of them, obviously, for one reason or another, may not show up. But as you can see, I mean, there's some really good towns in Atlantic County. I know some of you guys are not that familiar with it, but there's huge opportunities I've heard in Atlantic City for investors. I've been to Abscon, that is a nice town. Egg Harbor, I mean, I was hit hard by Sandy, so I know there's a lot of opportunities there. I mean, this is just a lot of data. I mean, you guys don't have to always think like, okay, well, let me just work in one area. I was looking for Cape May, but that's Cape May County. Yeah, Cape May is a nice area. I mean, some of these towns may not be great. I know Ventura, that's right on the ocean. If you guys are looking for a beach house, this is a nice area too. So there's opportunities everywhere. So that's just an example. So for NJ List Pendants, that's how we use it. I know that there are a lot of other, I guess tabs here that I probably haven't used much in my day. So there are foreclosure laws here in case you want to educate your clients on how foreclosures work in New Jersey and how how they can protect themselves, or you can protect yourselves as well. So there's a lot of information here for you guys. So if you do decide to go on to NJ List Pendants and become a member of it, there's a lot of great things that you guys can get, benefits for being on here. There's tutorials on how to use this stuff. Okay. Glossaries, frequently asked questions. I mean, a lot of good stuff. But I'm not sure if, from what I've shown you guys just now, if there's any questions on what we covered so far, because I did go a little fast. But obviously, that you can stop me if you have a question now. I'll cover anything on NJ List Pendants or on Land Voice.
Can you go back to transform from the original list pendants to Excel?
Yes. Okay. So this data that I transferred over is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll create a new sheet so you can see how I did it. Right. I'll do it again very slow. So all you need to do is go to your file, import it from the TXT file you just dropped. I like to click and drag. Go to append the sheet, go to custom, and it's above this little, for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, it's like this thing right here. It's that stick. I don't know what it's called, but I call it a stick. It's above the /. So you tell the system to use that this icon as a separator, demarcation between the data. Once you've got that, then it imports the way you want it. Now, I usually just, to make it look a little neater, I just like to, make it a different color, and you guys don't have to do that. But you do need to put it in the order that it has to be in. So that order, again, is city, zip. I'll just go back to the previous one. City, zip, state, address, and name. So that's the way it has to be. Okay? Any other questions on that? Good. Joe, have you done one? You haven't done one on your own yet, right? Only with me? Yeah. Pretty simple, right? Process is pretty.
Yeah.
Now, once you have this data, guys, the best thing to do with it is obviously to use a dialer with it. Calling these people one by one is not a good use of your time. If you guys don't have assistants, if you guys are still on a budget, you guys are like just getting into real estate, the first way of getting an assistant without actually getting an assistant is using leverage, using technology, using tools in order to make your time more productive. So if I can go from making 10 phone calls an hour to making 100 phone calls an hour, I in my mind, I just hired 10 assistants because I just hired 10 people to do what one person can do in an hour. So this is good stuff. You guys will definitely enjoy using it. I'm not sure if anybody is watching has a question. Please ask now because we are going to be winding down on our training here. Next week we're going to cover. Next week we're going to cover Mojo, which we spoke about today, and we're going to cover conversion. So if you don't have a drip system, a drip campaign, or CRM, conversion is one of the best ones out there in the industry. I feel like it's probably the best. Some people obviously have other preferences, which are fine as long as you use it. A CRM is the best CRM in the world is just a piece of junk if it's not put to use. So there's always different people who like different systems. So if you guys have any advice or you guys have any systems that you think are good or any ways of getting data that you want to share on this post, please do. That's why we put these things together, because we want to make sure that like we're educating, but then people who are watching who may have different ways of doing it, you guys can also help us and we can grow together. It's not just about our way is the only way. It's just a way. And people out there I'm sure have their systems as well. I know some people don't like to share their information because they fear that by sharing their information they're going to lose something or they're going to start to not get as much business or whatever. And I know there's a lot of people in this industry like that. I've always been the person who have said, what, if I can teach you and you could do well and you'll learn, then we all win. Because I know one day you'll come back, you'll thank me, and maybe we can do a deal together, or you'll make it a better environment for everyone because you're learning the right way of doing things. So if you guys aren't getting that type of help at your office, we are still taking applications for real estate agents. So please visit us at culture.estate if you guys are thinking of getting into real estate or you want to make a move from where you currently are. And if you guys have any questions, like always, please leave them in the message bar. Thank you guys and have a great day. Enjoy this beautiful weather we're having finally. All right. Thanks, guys.